В горах темнеет быстро.
It's getting dark quickly in the mountains. Unfortunately, a long trip did not allow me to come to this place earlier. That's all right. I will continue my story about it in the morning.
О нем я продолжу утром. Вокруг меня сейчас только древние горы Karatau.
I am surrounded by ancient mountains of Karatau.
Хребтов в Казахстане. Но интересны эти горы тем, что
They are considered one of the most picturesque ranges in Kazakhstan. Many legends, secrets, and mysteries were born here. In the morning, I will walk along the gorge in which ancient petroglyphs have been preserved.
проходить по ущелью, в котором сохранились
According to scientists, their age is 3,000 to 4,000 years. One of the legends about these places says that dragons still live here.
И одна из легенд, сложенных об этих местах, гласит, что здесь до сих пор обитают драконы.
Where did the thought of dragons come from? The fact is that ancient people who left a huge cultural heritage in the form of petroglyphs depicted animals resembling dragons on stones.
Культурное наследие после себя в виде петроглифов изображали на камнях животных, напоминающих драконов. И завтра я
And tomorrow I will go in search of these amazing artifacts.
на поиски этих удивительных артефактов.
Hello, this is the Terra Incognita project. My name is Anton Fedorov, and I continue my journey through southern Kazakhstan. In this series, I will go on a trip along the picturesque mountain range of Karatau to find ancient petroglyphs with the image of dragons. I will also visit the museum of the most famous Kazakh wrestler Kazhimukan Munaytpasov. They say that his weight reached 220 kilograms. And I will show you the real Khan's throne, which belonged to one ruler. For me, petroglyphs are one of the most interesting areas of research. Rock paintings can be called the very first sources of information and the beginning of the appearance of writing on the planet. Nowadays, it is customary to call petroglyphs any image in stone related to the period from ancient cultures to the Middle Ages. Cave paintings are unique archaeological sites that allow modern scholars to learn about the life of ancient tribes. The most common petroglyphs are drawings of animals, images of dwellings, and hunting scenes. Petroglyphs often were used as a kind of calendar. A lot of drawings are dedicated to the theme of death. And here in the Arpaozen Gorge, as the legends say, images of dragons have been preserved. And in the morning, I will go in search of them. I am very interested to know what the ancient people wanted to say, leaving these mysterious drawings on the rocks.
Я начинаю свое первое путешествие по исследованию одного из ущелий.
I am starting my first trip to explore one of the gorges of the Karatau mountain range for the presence of ancient petroglyphs.
Искать самостоятельно эти древние рисунки очень сложно.
It's very difficult to find these ancient drawings on your own because the mountains are quite massive. They occupy a large area.
И чтобы найти эти рисунки, необходимо хорошо.
One needs to work hard and take a rather long walk to find these drawings.
Довольно длительную прогулку. Пока же не встречаются вот только такие.
In the meantime, I see only such fragments of rocks, but I will continue my journey.
Но я буду продолжать свой путь.
To create cave paintings, dyes of various origins were used: mineral, clay, manganese oxide, and iron. Often ancient people painted with the blood of animals. They could also use charcoal. The color palette was quite diverse, but the most popular was red. Paint was applied directly to the surface with fingers, hollow tubes, canes, primitive brushes, and other tools were also used. Sometimes, to achieve greater clarity of the contours, shapes were cut out on the walls. But so far I have not managed to find a single image.
Я вполне могу допустить мысль, что я просто ошибся ущельем.
I can assume that I simply made a mistake with the gorge and came to the wrong place because, as I already said, the mountain massif is quite large and there are many different gorges. But judging even by the structure of these rocks, they are not very suitable for drawings. But still, there are such interesting caves.
Рисунков. Зато в них есть вот такие вот интересные пещеры.
These mountains are called Karatau. In Kazakh, it means Mountain of a Bride. The legend says the following: once upon a time there lived one rich person who had a daughter, Aysulu. He decided to marry her according to her will and celebrated his daughter's engagement 40 days and nights. He sent his daughter to the bridegroom with great gifts, which were loaded on many camels. Aysulu decided to see what the dowry consisted of. All items were made of gold, with the exception of the dog bowl, which was made of silver. Upset because of this, Aysulu sent a messenger to her father demanding to change the dog's bowl to gold. An angry and disappointed father cursed her for ingratitude with the words, "Ungrateful daughter, turn into a stone with a golden caravan." After these words, Aysulu and her caravan turned into stone, forming the great mountain Karatau.
Ландшафт этого ущелья очень удивительный. Посмотрите, какие...
The landscape of this gorge is very interesting. Look what stone rock formations are here.
Просто такое углубление в скале. Вполне возможно, что иногда оно служит...
This is a small cave, even just a hole in the rock. It's quite possible that sometimes it serves as an overnight stay for some animals.
Пики этих скал, они напоминают загривок дракона.
But why it's said that dragons live here? The upper forms, the peaks of these rocks, resemble the scruff of a dragon, or even perhaps the grin of this mythical animal. And if you pay attention to those two rocks, then they just create the feeling that this whole ridge is just the back of one big dragon.
Спина одного большого дракона. Я отправляюсь дальше, искать другое ущелье.
I go further to look for another gorge to show you the amazing heritage of our ancestors. After an hour of a search, I found fragments of rocks on which petroglyphs are depicted, but the dragons seem to prevent me from exploring this place. Suddenly, the weather turned bad. A thick fog immediately filled the area, and icy wind rose, which greatly interfered with my trip. The wind was blowing so hard that it did not allow me to work on the camera, and constantly interrupted the sound. And yet I managed to learn something. The Karatau Mountains from ancient times inhabited by humans are rich in petroglyphs. Among the numerous galleries, Arpaozen is one of the most diverse drawings by genre and plot. Here, more than 3,000 images related to the first millennium BC were found. Experts say that these petroglyphs reflect the economic life of the tribes of the corresponding era. as well as their religious beliefs, customs, traditions, and rites. There are images of birds and animals. The theme of the drawings carries a certain semantic meaning. Thus, according to scientists, the image of a camel symbolizes wealth and strength. Scenes of hunting a mountain goat with dogs and bird catching are carved on many rocks. There are images of warriors with spears and clubs in their hands. The local petroglyphs were first discovered in 1972. Rock carvings were made on large blocks and slabs made of sand and grouped along the slopes of the hills. A common plot of early petroglyphs is dog chasing goats. They are distinguished by a peculiar expression. Finally, I came across an image that, although not explicitly, still looks like a dragon. Now look, this bend looks like the neck of a mythical animal, and this part looks like its wings. And the question whether dragons existed here or not remains open to me for now. But the weather is merciless to me, and if I stay here for a few more minutes, I risk being completely in the fog, which will block my way back. Therefore, I leave this ancient, amazing place, but I will certainly return here again to study the ancient petroglyphs of Arpaozen in more detail.
Мое путешествие по Южному Казахстану привело
My
меня...
trip to southern Kazakhstan led me to the small village of Tamerlanovka, which is 30 kilometers from the city of Shymkent. Here is a museum dedicated to the biography and life of one amazing person.
удивительного человека. Этот человек
This man was the first Kazakh to become the world champion in wrestling. This man has done many good deeds. The name of this national hero is Kazhimukan Munaytpasov.
народного героя Kazhimukan Munaytpasov.
A lot of facts are known about the life of Kazhimukan Munaytpasov, but in the museum, in fact, in the homeland of the national hero, almost everything is known about him, and people are very proud of fellow countrymen. This is the regional sports museum named after Kazhimukan. Therefore, we have exhibits related to him, things that he used. Among them are 48 golden medals won in 54 countries. Also, the museum exhibits things of Asian champions, Olympic champions, native of our region. All cities in Kazakhstan have streets named after Kazhimukan Munaytpasov. He was a great man who made many good deeds during the life. There are few people in the entire history of mankind that can be compared to Kazhimukan Munaytpasov. He can be compared only with Heracles or Samson, but unlike these mythological characters, Kazhimukan Munaytpasov was a real person. The real name of Kazhimukan is Mukan. He was born in 1871 in the village of Shayildar in the Oturar district. They say he was born on April the 7th. He lost his mother early and was brought up by his grandmother. When Kazhimukan was a month old, relatives of his father faced difficulties and were forced to move to Akmola region. There he received documents, and therefore the birthplace was written as Akmola region. At the end of his life, he moved to the village of Tamerlan. He died here on August the 16th, 1948. Kazhimukan belonged to the Kazakh clan Altybas Kipchak. By the way, this is one of the most famous Kazakh clans whose men and even women are famous for their great strength, both physical and spiritual. When the long-awaited spring replaced severe winter in the native village of Kazhimukan, inhabitants started numerous celebrations. These mass gatherings also featured national games. Especially Paluan wrestlers were very popular. Mukan, the son of the poor peasant Munaytpasov, became one of the Paluans that entertained the people on the holidays. He showed his amazing physical abilities. One of the stories about Kazhimukan says, on one of the spring days, a huge bull got stuck in the mud near the village. The animal was dying, and no one but Mukan could help him. He tied the animal's body with a rope, threw the rope over his broad shoulders, rested his mighty legs on the ground, tensed and pulled the bull ashore. Kazhimukan is the first Kazakh wrestler. The first wrestler thanks to whom the whole world learned about the Kazakhs. Our pride, our butter. It can be said that thanks to him the whole world learned about the Kazakhs. He was a common person. He gave everything that he collected to orphans and widows. At that challenging time, he sacrificed all his goods to the hungry, orphans, widows, ordinary people, fed his village inhabitants. Mukan attracted the attention of professional wrestlers at the beginning of his career, meeting with the Russian lion Georg Gackenschmidt. The lion had victories over almost all the world champions of his time, but he could not overcome Mukan, who was taking his first steps in wrestling. Then Mukan had a trip to Turkey. In Istanbul, he had a fight with Turkish champion Nurullah, a giant of 155 kilograms. Mukan fought beautifully and boldly. At the 20th minute, Nurullah was on his back. The main prize was awarded to Kazhimukan Munaytpasov, and he was offered to perform a Hajj to the blessed Mecca. No spectacles were allowed in the holy cities of Mecca and Medina. Not far from them, in the city of Jeddah, a wrestling tournament was organized in which 25 Muslim athletes from Asia and Africa took part. Mukan defeated everyone and became the champion. After the pilgrimage to the Holy Land, he received the honorary title of Haji. He was called Kazhimukan. Kazhimukan. The facts from the life and biography of Kazhimukan Munaytpasov are amazing. Firstly, this man managed to visit 54 countries, including America, Mexico, and Mecca in Saudi Arabia during his sports career. I will tell about his journey a little later. Here is a fragment of the clothes that Kazhimukan Munaytpasov wore. At 75, his height was 195 centimeters and the weight 220 kilograms. That is, I have to put on another 100 kilograms of weight to look like him. As for household items of Kazhimukan Munaytpasov, then in the museum of Tamerlanovka there is such a bowl. They say that it contains a single volume of food that Kazhimukan ate, say for lunch. But what explains such amazing features of Kazhimukan? The answer is simple. He took his strength from his native land and his glorified family. He is a descendant of Koblandi Batyr. Koblandi Batyr, praised in our literature, was the 11th great-great-grandfather of Kazhimukan. He belonged to the Kipchak clan of the Middle Jews. He was born and raised in an ordinary family. At 13, his physique was like that of a 25-year-old guy. During the sports career, great Kazhimukan defeated world champions. He achieved honorable draw results in fights with great wrestlers like Ivan Podubny, Stanislav Zbyszko-Tsiginevich, Ivan Zaikin. Kazhimukan was a world champion in freestyle wrestling and a European champion in jiu-jitsu. The Kazakh wrestling school helped. He twice became the owner of one of the most honorable prizes in the world, Belt of King Sigismund.
In
addition to the amazing anthropometric data, Kazhimukan Munaytpasov possessed phenomenal strength. Here are a few items that he used during trainings. So, first of all, here is this metal rod. It weighs 48 kilograms. It's even difficult to lift it, and Kazhimukan Munaytpasov bent this rod around the neck. This stone, which was used by Kazuma Khan, weighs 130 kilograms. It is almost impossible to raise it. Well, and this fragment of the rock, because it cannot be called a stone, Kazhimukan raised it when he was 75 years old.
Kazhimukan поднимал в 75 лет, и вес вот этого
And this huge stone is 350 kilograms.
350 килограммов.
The hero won the love of the people with his civil act during the war. During the Great Patriotic War, Kazhimukan performed with circus and transferred the proceeds to the defense fund. With these funds, a fighter plane was built. The fighter was awarded the Order of the Badge of Honor.
Жаңа сіздерге айтып өттім ғой, өте қарапайым болған жиған.
As I said before, he shared his gains with the destitute. And during the Great Patriotic War, he bought a plane for the Soviet Union with his own money. And he gave the name to this aircraft, Amangil D. Manov. He wrote a letter to Stalin that he wanted to buy a plane with his money. There is even a response telegram from Stalin with words of gratitude.
Сталиннің рахмет айтып жүрген телеграммасы бар.
Kazhimukan Munaytpasov was a truly great man. Despite the fact that he achieved unbelievable heights and the best results in sports, he always remembered his homeland and his people. And this man is rightfully an example for current generations. Well, I have to go further in search of new adventures.
Мое путешествие по туркестанской.
My journey through Turkestan region continues, and now I have arrived in the vicinity of the picturesque ridge of Karatau.
Хребта Каратау. Здесь находится одно
Here is one interesting place with an ancient legend.
сложена древняя легенда. Хочу отметить,
I want to note that many places in the south of Kazakhstan are somehow connected with the history of the people.
с историей народа. И об этом месте
And it is believed that this place was once ruled by one Khan.
здесь правил один хан. И на скале установлен его,
And his throne was set on a rock.
чтобы вы видели, какой путь мне придется преодолеть.
Now I have to overcome this path. You see a rock, and on its top is the Khan's throne.
Находится ханский трон. Я направляюсь туда.
I'm going there to show you this place and tell an ancient legend.
Эту древнюю легенду.
I am traveling around the Karatau Nature Reserve. It is located in Turkestan region near the city of Karatau. It was created in 2004 to preserve the rich land of the Karatau Mountains and especially Karatau Argali. During this time, the number of these animals has increased from 40 to 365 animals. In 2017, the protected area was expanded and an ecological corridor was created to protect the migration of Karatau Argali on mountain ranges. This place is rich not only in nature but also in history.
Скажу сразу, что быстро найти это
It is rather difficult to find this place quickly.
необходимо проехать
You need to go through the village of Kantagi,
Хантагы и дальше по бездорожью
and further you need to overcome a few more kilometers off-road along the ridge. Here it is written that the Kantagi highway runs at 797 meters above sea level. The ascent length of the highway is 320 meters. The descent is 280. Rules for staying on the highway. Follow the path, do not leave it. It is forbidden to move along the highway without a guide. It is strictly forbidden to collect plants, smoke, and throw garbage. To move along the highway, you need special shoes. I have shoes but no guide, unfortunately. We have to go without him. Well, let's go to the Khan's possessions.
К ханским владениям. Неужели когда-то по этой тропе, может быть, несколько десятков веков назад,
Was it really possible that one of the local rulers really walked along this path some tens of centuries ago?
поэтому я и люблю собирать легенды из различных.
Therefore, I love to collect legends from different regions because they somehow reveal the stories of the people.
Так или иначе, раскрывают историю народа.
The legend about this place says, in the days of nomads, one Khan ruled near the Karatau mountains. Once he woke up from a nightmare in which a spider bit his finger. The next day, the Khan gathered all his advisors to figure out the meaning of his dream. But none of them could say what the dream meant. A few days later, at the headquarters of the Khan, a caravan of merchants stopped to rest. Among them there was a man who could interpret dreams. The Khan invited him. The traveler said it was a prophetic dream and the ruler would soon die. The spider that bit the Khan in a dream was a poisonous black widow. Then the Khan decided to migrate to the highlands of Karatau, where there were many rivers and cool air. The Khan placed his throne on the top of the mountain and was no longer disturbed by dreams. But once he was brought fruits bought from merchants. The Khan took a large bunch of grapes and felt a bite. It was a black widow, and the Khan died of poison. They say that with the first rays of the sun opposite the mountain, you can notice the image of a spider.
Я преодолел примерно половину пути.
I overcame about half the way. From here I have such a wonderful view of the gorge, along the bottom of which the river passes. There is not much left, but this part of the way is the most beautiful because I have to tackle steep climb.
Сложное, потому что начинается очень крутой подъем в гору.
I got to the final destination, the place where the Khan's throne stands.
Отсюда, с вершины ханской скалы,
From here, from the top of the Khan's cliff, you witness a magnificent view of the ancient mountains of Karatau. And sitting on this throne, one can for a minute feel like a ruler who led his people from this place and went down in history thanks to good deeds.
благим делам, направленным на пользу людям.
I cannot answer where the legend about Khan is true. However, this place is truly striking in its beauty and grandeur. Each time traveling to such places, I get closer to the history of my country.
Туркестанская область – это настоящий клондайк для туристов, любящих древность и историю.
Turkestan region is a real Klondike for tourists who love antiquity and history. Traveling in this region, you can learn almost everything about Kazakhstan, from the life of ancient tribes to the modern people. And I will certainly continue to show you this amazing land and tell its ancient legends. It was the Terra Incognita project. See you in the next episode.